Hey, what's up? My name is Dahoud Hidami. I am a real estate agent, co-founder and principal of the Catalyst team at Compass, and welcome to a New York conversation where we talk to notable New Yorkers about their New York. Our goal is to also support our small businesses, so we'll discuss them and tag them when we repost the interview. So tonight's guest is a special guest, Necar Zadegan. Necar is an actress with a prolific career on stage and on screen. She made her Broadway debut alongside Robin Williams in the Pulitzer Prize-nominated production of Bengal Tiger at the Baghdad Zoo, which is where we met, actually. You may have seen her leading the way on any number of shows and films, including 24 Girls Guide to Divorce or NCIS New Orleans, to name a few. So without further ado, come on down. Let's see if I can. Aha!
There you are.
What's up? Hi.
Dawood, how are you?
I miss you.
I miss you.
How are you?
That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
To see you in New Orleans.
I feel like I just saw you not too long ago.
I know, but it wasn't that long ago. It was pre shutdowns.
It was totally. So for those of you who don't know, I was.
Well, no, it wasn't pre shutdowns. It was like during shutdowns, right?
No, it was during shutdown. Being on it with you for an episode where I didn't get to see you until the last day I was there, which sucked. But it was all COVID. It was all COVID, so I didn't really get to experience New Orleans.
I know. That's too bad. Well, you'll have to go back.
Yeah, for sure, which was a total bummer. So
it's a really good city.
Yeah. So you and I met doing Bengal Tiger, right?
In another really good city.
Yeah. So that was kind of really awesome. And you, had you been to New York? You'd been to New York working lots of times before then, right?
Yeah, not lots of times, but yeah, I had been to New York working before, but only working. I'd never been to New York.
Yeah.
For any other reason, like I didn't go there to find work, or I didn't, I'd never gone on. I don't think I'd ever gone on vacation to New York. I only first time I was in New York, I was doing a tour. I was doing a tour, and I landed in New York on the tour. That was one of our stops, and we were so young. We were teenagers, and so it was really exciting. The energy was just really exciting, and it was a good city. But when we did Bengal Tiger, I was a full-blown adult by then, and it was a different experience because we all had to find our own places to live. Like when I was there with the tour, they put us up, and we stayed at some crappy hotel. And we were so young. I was never there. We were just out exploring the city. But when we were doing the show, I was trying to be really. I'm not trying. Doing a 8 show a week show is it's like a real job. It's it's really close to having a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so we had to find our own housing and go grocery shopping and stuff like that and figure out how to live.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I was really living in New York,
Yeah. So I feel like you're getting lots of love here from all over the world.
Hello from Portugal. I was just talking about Portugal today.
Yeah.
So I'm in Toronto right now.
You're in Toronto.
I'm in Toronto, and I'm in my digs in Toronto.
Okay.
And you can see I have a staircase, but you can't see much else.
Yeah.
And Toronto's a really cool city. There's all kinds of little beautiful ethnic neighborhoods like Little Portugal and Little Italy, and places I've been kind of bouncing around. Much like New York, a lot of yeah.
So I have to say, New York misses you. You're getting lots of love about your beautiful smile.
Thank you.
From everywhere. So one of the reasons why this started,
hello, Bazin Akhavan. Hello, Tehran.
Hello, Tehran. So a big part of this was all because, initially with COVID, there was a lot of rhetoric about New York being dead or dying, because we're getting some questions about what are y'all talking about? And a big part of it was, I was like, well, let's talk to New Yorkers or people who have come to New York for work to get an essence of what New York is. And you know what we do here is I also want to talk about some small businesses that you recall that when you came to work here, because I want to repost this interview and then tag those small businesses, because that's what New Yorkers do. We kind of support each other. So I want to get a sense of your time here and what you loved about New York. So my first question to you is, New York was and is your place. Why?
You know, I think as an actor, or really as any artist, the draw of New York City is really exciting, because the city offers you so much inspiration. New York's, you know, they say, like, you know, it's a really rough city, and, like, you know, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere because it's so tough. And it's like, it's cute lore, but in reality, New York welcomes you so easily. It's
Yeah.
it's like the minute you land, you just stumble upon everything great that the city has to offer. Just walking down the street is an adventure, you know?
Yeah.
And anytime you see New Yorkers outside of New York and they tell you miss New York, and you ask them, what do you miss about New York? They're like, I just miss walking down the street and getting a cup of coffee, you know? And because it's like that. And so I think, you know, like when we were doing the show, when we were doing Bengal Tiger, we had done it. There was the third installment of that show. Remember, we had done it already in Los Angeles twice, and then we'd taken it to New York. It was interesting to see not only myself, but everybody in the show constantly finding new inspiration for these scenes that we had done so many times already. I mean, we'd done the show already. You know, we performed it so many times before we'd gotten there. But it was the other artist installations that were so inspiring all day long. It felt like the city was talking to me personally about my character, which it was not. But it felt like that, you know. I remember, you know, I remember the Met was doing the Alexander McQueen show at the time.
Oh.
If you've ever seen a show at any museum that's not the Met, then you go to the Met, it's like, I don't know, it's just something else, you know.
Yeah.
It's not only that it's Alexander McQueen at the Met, it's that, you know, and that book sold out, right, 1,000 times, and everybody had gone to see that show. But I went, and remember I was playing the leper.
Yes.
And I don't remember now exactly what it was about the Alexander McQueen show that gave me a new perspective on the leper that I was playing.
Yes.
You wouldn't think the two would connect.
Yeah.
But it was like I all of a sudden had a new idea, and that happened daily. You know, I would literally be getting a coffee someplace, and somebody would walk in, and people's style just inspires you all the time, and people, you know, in the subway inspire you. It's
I know, it's
that's
crazy.
my favorite.
Do you have a favorite New York corner?
You know, my favorite New York, you know, when I was there, I was always doing work, so I was always in Midtown. And I was always doing shows in Midtown or auditioning in Midtown, and usually I was staying in Midtown.
Boo.
I know. There's a lot of great neighborhoods that are not Midtown, but so I was seeing the city from that vantage point. But then in later years, my guy is a New Yorker, and he had a place on Perry for a long, long time, and I loved that neighborhood so much, and I didn't really know why until kind of I went to Amsterdam, and I was like, oh my God, this is like New York. And I think there's that corner there, you know, where the Le Pan is, and that like Italian joint is on the corner over there
on Perry. Like the La Pen Quotidienne.
Yes, the little Belgian coffee shop.
Okay.
That was next door. And so there was that corner there where it felt like almost quiet. You know what I mean? It felt like almost quiet, but you were dead in the middle of the, you know, of downtown, really, you know, in the West Village. And it felt like, it just felt quiet, but every single, you know, person that passed by, or every single, you know, kind of a delivery person that passed by wanted to say hello.
Hmm.
And I thought, and it suddenly felt like a small town in a big city. And I
Yeah.
actually feel like a lot of neighborhoods in New York are like that. It feels
Yeah.
like, just really neighborhoody.
Yeah. Barzan says la pan de $8 bread.
Yeah.
Which is, but I love going there actually. It's always like there's always a place to sit outside on a beautiful day, drink some tea, have some cheese or whatever soup, and their pastries are ridiculous. But I love what you're describing, which is this sense of community.
Yeah.
That like and even strangers that you've never met or known before will even say hello to you. And
Oh, totally. Everybody's in your business. But it's nice, but it's also nice because it's easy to meet. It's easy to meet people in New York all the time.
Yeah.
You don't really feel alone. And for a person, especially like myself, who was always there working alone, it didn't ever feel lonely to me,
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool.
I know.
I love that. That's the great thing about New York is you never in some ways feel alone. One of my there was like is New York back? When is New York back? Or will it ever come back? And there was one time where a friend of mine was like, I stepped right outside her door and all of a sudden she heard a couple just straight out yelling at each other and having like a full-on fight. And it's just like, New York's back when private conversations are being had out on the street, which is kind of awesome.
Well, you and I were talking about that when you were working in New Orleans, remember?
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and we were having some food, and you were saying, I was saying, like, how's it going there? And you were like, it's not going anywhere. And I was like, you're right. Remember, I was looking around, and you were like, what are you looking at? I was like, I'm just looking around at some properties. Just looking up, seeing what's going on. The real estate, but nothing. But you're in the real estate biz. It like suddenly it was like it felt like there was an opportunity because it felt like people were scared, but that opportunity was taken because people aren't scared. People are just excited about the opportunity.
There's still a lot of opportunity in New York, all throughout, and that's I think it's also because just that money's cheap also if you're looking to finance because interest rates are really low, so there's a really good opportunity for lots of people and lots of buyers.
I would imagine. I mean, and I told you, remember we were talking and I was like, I don't know why you want me to talk to me. I'm like the least New Yorker of all people, being from California and only having worked in New York. But even for me, for somebody, to be still kind of like looking around and excited about the possibility of going to work, that's the thing. It's like when you're an artist, especially when you're an actor and you're always in the habit of looking for work. Yeah. There's some cities that excite you. Like I'm always looking at projects that are happening in New York. I'm like, oh, okay, well, she's in New York. That's great. Oh, it's on stage in New York. It's not like it's, there's other cities I don't feel that way about. Yeah.
Well, I think it's also important to hear your perspective because your perspective is so unique in that you have a love affair with New York. And it's very clear in the way that you're talking about it. Was there a moment that happened that made you go, or were there a number of things that was like just added up that was like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest cities, if not the greatest city.
I know. I can't even say, there's
on top of this,
there were so many times. One moment, I mean, I don't know, going to New York to do a show, especially on Broadway, to me is the best way to get to know the city because you're invited to everything and you get to go to the Tonys and everybody is an artist and everybody that you're talking to is working on an art project of some kind and you're invited to all these art shows and stuff. So to me it's the best way to get to know New York, and it did feel like a collection of things, but it almost felt daily, like a daily collection of things that would happen, Now when I look back, something terrible happened, actually. I'll tell you something terrible that happened. My laptop went kaput, and so 10 years worth of photographs and that time was included in that erasure.
Yeah.
of photographs of my life were gone.
Oh.
Just gone. And so I went, which sucks. That
Yeah.
was terrible. But as a result, photographs really lost their kind of importance for me. So
Oh.
I used to be really, I used to really keep photographs. I used to think, oh my God, if there's a fire in my house, I'm taking my photos. But I don't feel that way anymore. I'll take my grandmother's bracelet. That's the one. But as a result, I had to go through all my emails and look for old pictures. I was trying to resurrect some of these important pictures, before my grandmother had passed and stuff like that. And I ended up stumbling upon all these pictures that I had sent to my parents and stuff from New York, specifically.
Oh.
That was mostly the pictures that were in my emails.
Huh.
And when I was looking through the photographs that I had sent them, of course, I probably picked good ones, but every single one of them was like iconic. And I don't even mean of like me in front of the Empire State Building. By the way, I lived across the street from the Empire State Building. Not a great neighborhood, but close to the theater, 10 blocks away. I went home for lunch. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Murray Hill better now? Is that a cute neighborhood? No, it's my place was cool. Anyway, so no, but I mean, like for example, there was this photograph of myself I had sent them, and it was winter, and I was wearing this winter coat, and I had this little beanie on, and I remember I was looking up. I didn't realize that I was so young until I saw the photo, and I was like, oh wow, I was really young. And I think I had like maybe 3 inches between the pants I was wearing and the socks I had on. They were like floods, kind of. And I knew I had to be ice cold. And I could tell in the picture that I was cold, but I was so excited. And I was looking up, and I was in the middle of the crosswalk, and you could see the crosswalk said, "Don't walk." And the buildings around me were so tall. It was this little girl, so excited to be in the middle of the street, breaking the law to nobody's care.
Yeah.
And just like photos like that. And so it was just like daily things were really exciting. I think there was a photograph I had taken of my boyfriend at the time dipping me in front of that beautiful fountain in Central Park. And it was just a really everything felt so romantic and youthful all the time. And that's something else that I always noticed when I was in New York. Living in Los Angeles, where I live, it's a very it's a city that praises youth a lot. Mm-hmm. And being female, I always wondered where the older women were in Los Angeles. I didn't see them out. And it's not because I didn't hang out in places that were mature. You just didn't see them out. But in New York, you're walking down the street, and it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, and an older couple walking hand in hand, living very romantically, is not an abstract sight. But that is different, and especially, I think, in the States. Sometimes you see it in Paris or something like that. But no, there's not a lot of cities that older women are just running around living romantic lives.
Yeah. Your Burgundy 1972 is asking, what color socks were you wearing? Do you remember?
Yeah, actually. I don't know why I was wearing scrunchy socks, because the year we did that show, they were white scrunchy socks.
Yeah.
Because the year was 2010 that we did that show. Those socks hadn't been in since like 1989.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was wearing those socks.
I love, you are so worldly, and you've traveled all over the world. And I love that all of the guests here on this live with us are from all over the world. It makes me so happy. That's really nice. So wait, what happened to the pictures that you actually were able to get?
I should print them, and I keep meaning to print them because I worry about another, computer crash.
Yeah.
But I've stored them now in an album. Actually, yeah, I should print those. That's what I should do. I should print them, but they're stored. And I mean, they live, some of them I stored, not all of them, but some of them I stored in this album. And I think, I should print them, and I should put them in a book. I should make a book of them. What do you do with your pictures?
I so rarely print pictures.
I know.
It's just like, I keep them in the cloud, to be honest.
Okay. That's good. So you back up your cloud. That's good.
Yeah. Just keep them in the cloud, take pictures on the iPhone, and then that's it.
You're so responsible.
It's so crazy, like you think that you would think that the cloud would kind of store them and you know, that way you can always get them back. But I don't know. I'm not very technologically savvy, to be
You
honest.
know, I feel like I can't be bothered with that kind of stuff, but then I suffered a very serious mishap with my
Yeah,
picture.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people want to know when you're coming back to New York, and I would love it if you came back to New York. Do
You
you
know what? As a matter of fact, I have a girlfriend who is a big supporter of a bunch of different museums, but there's a children's museum um, on the island of Manhattan that has been struggling because of COVID.
Oh,
And yeah, I'll have to send you the details. And so it's like the second or third weekend of September or something. She asked me to come and read some children's stories at the
oh,
museum. Yes, it's going to be not like a big event or anything like that, but some people are, you know, invited to come and support the museum because the museum is, you know, funded publicly. It's a
yeah.
publicly funded museum. So that's when I plan to come, but that'll just be a
Okay.
weekend. But I'm excited about Broadway coming back because there's been for years now since we did that show. Actually, that was the last time that I was on stage in New York, and since then it's not that I haven't wanted to come back. My, you know, work just kind of took me elsewhere. I've been looking for a play for a long time that really moves me and something really special and beautiful to cross
Yeah.
my, you know, to cross my way. But I've just been keeping my eyes peeled, so I hope that happens. And I don't know,
Hmm.
the theaters are kind of opening this fall, aren't they?
They are starting in September. As a matter of fact, there's already one that's opened. I've, you guys help us. Which Broadway show is currently open right now? And actually, going back to your museum, Beth, who's actually my business partner and co-founder of the Catalyst team with me, is asking on the Upper West Side. Is that where that that
I
museum?
believe it is actually. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it is because that's where their old place was. Yes.
Oh, and Beth, everyone, Barzin and Beth Passover. That's the show that's actually opened. It's the first,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah, and a bunch of them are rolling out September. I mean, September is really when a lot of them are going to really start going again. So that takes,
You know, I'll look out for your show when I'm there in September. I'll come and see it if you guys are still on, for sure. You should
and
come with me, Dode. We should go together.
let's do it, 100%.
Done.
Oh, you know I'm going to see you when you're here. Don't you worry about it. So yeah, Bars is saying everyone starting rehearsal today, which is I love Broadway.
Congratulations.
One of the, you know, like small businesses. Let's talk about that because Broadway is maybe, you know, it's a business, and
Right.
it kind of a bunch of these businesses is what makes New York so unique and so amazing. And so do you recall some small businesses that you can give some shots out to, and then we'll repost it and tag them in it?
You know, there are smaller theaters that I love, but they don't feel so small. The Cherry Lane is a small theater that I love, but it doesn't feel so small. But it is small. It's a small theater.
It is.
And you know, they have a great space in front of that theater on Commerce. I wonder if they're doing anything outdoor right now. Huh, I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's an amphitheater.
I love the street that the Cherry Lane. That's
It's Commerce, right? Isn't that Commerce?
I think so. Yeah, that's one of my favorite New York corners.
That's my absolute favorite street in town.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. There's so many good streets, but that is a great corner.
Yeah, it really is. It makes you feel like you're kind of away from everything else, and it's kind of
quiet.
a secret spot. I don't know.
Yeah. It feels like you could lose your wallet there and it'll still be there when you come back.
Yeah.
But don't do that. Don't try it. Yeah.
What else?
What else? You know, I think there was some. There was a pizza place I remember in Brooklyn that I would haul my cookies all the way over to Brooklyn for. What's the place called? God, I forget. But, you know, I didn't go to Brooklyn that much, although Brooklyn was popping when I was there. The Brooklyn had just started popping back then.
Yeah.
It's probably like you could probably still afford something back then.
Back then
In 2010.
10 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it was Williamsburg's was probably already bumping before that, right? It's probably already popping. Do you
It
get
is.
to Brooklyn
It
a
is
lot?
like Brooklyn. Oh
You don't
well,
go to
yeah. I
Brooklyn.
mean, we do a lot of real estate business in Brooklyn, and it is hopping. It is on fire.
That's great. See, didn't I tell you it was going nowhere? So I don't know what else. Do you remember that pizza place across from our theater?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were referring to. And
I didn't have to haul my cookies to Brooklyn because that place was always. But I would only go there like I didn't want to go there all day. I thought one pizza from them a day was probably enough
for the whole day. Yeah. So this is actually where our guests can help us. So we were at the Richard Rogers Theater on 44th Street, I believe, and there was a pizza joint directly across the street from the theater that Necar is talking about.
It was teeny tiny.
And it was right next to a hotel, actually. Remember that hotel?
Yeah. Was that a hotel? Oh, yeah, because it was next door to, what was it, the Glass House Tavern?
The Glass House Tavern.
Yeah, which is that a small business?
It is.
We gave that business a lot of business.
We did. We sure did. We're getting John's Pizza.
Was it John's Pizza?
John's Pizza.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you,
Laura. Are they still there?
And Beth, and I think so. We'll look up.
Or John's. Was it Bonita Bella? I don't know. And do you remember that like vegan joint that was around the? It was like maybe it wasn't around. It was like maybe it was on 8th. Sometimes I'd go there when I felt like maybe I shouldn't have a pepperoni pizza. It was like a vegan market and restaurant. Do you remember that place?
No.
That was a small business I loved a lot.
And it was on 8th Avenue and what, 44th?
Yeah, it feels like it was there, but or maybe 9th, 8th or 9th.
Okay. Here's what I want to do before we go. Let's play a fun word association game where I'm gonna say a couple of things I'm gonna say a word about New York, and then you give me whatever thing comes to mind when
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Any word?
I'm gonna say the word, and then I want to hear your response to it.
Are they yes or no questions?
No, it's whatever you come up with.
Okay, go.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you tourists.
Strollers.
Nice. Central Park.
What?
Central Park.
Oh, castles.
Castles? Oh, tell me more.
Isn't there like a castle in Central Park near a lake?
What is that place?
I've never been to that place, but whenever I'm in Central Park,
yeah,
I either stumble upon it or see it. Guys, what's that place? What's that castle in Central Park? Belvedere Castle. That's right. And I don't know what it is.
Beth is on point tonight.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, and I've never been there. But yeah, it's behind the public. Right. Yes, Belvedere Castle.
I've never been.
Well, it's a lot of things are magical about Central Park, but then you see a castle, and then it's just like.
Okay, next word. Brunch spot.
Brunch spot. Belvedere Castle.
Belvedere Castle. What about, and this kind of, I guess, would make sense. What about a hidden gem?
Ooh, a hidden gem. Oh, this place isn't there anymore. Probably says a lot about me. It was a jewelry shop on And you know what? I know you would know because I'd sent you that property. It was downstairs from that place that's
On 8th?
yeah, on 8th. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little jewelry store.
A jewelry store in the West Village on 8th.
Called like Nunu's or something like that. Something like that.
Okay. What about a honking horn?
Taxis.
Taxis. I love it. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 more. And then if you can share with us if there's anything that you're working on that you can share or not
I share everything.
You can?
I do.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Because I know a lot of people on here would love to hear what you're doing in Toronto and any other projects you're working on. So, okay. So, favorite place to take a tourist?
In the world or in New York?
In New York. This is a New York conversation.
Well, I was going to say in New York for sure. Favorite place to take a tourist? You mean myself? The Met.
The Met. I love
because
that.
you get to go to the park too.
Yeah. That's lovely. That's another small business that we're going to love and support.
Yeah.
The museum.
And I love the Egyptians. The Egyptians are my favorite, but they often do, and they're always there. The Egyptians are always there.
Yeah.
And, I feel a kinship.
Yes. Love it.
but also, I love to take people to see the Egyptians, but often there's like a really cool kind of visiting artist and they're doing something special there. But there's also I don't get up to the east side that much. What am I talking about? I always went there, but there was one really good Italian restaurant there. It was like a place where like the ladies who lunched went.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Inside the Met?
No, it was up on the Upper East Side near the Met.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like there was a whole different like crowd when I would go up to the Met. It's exciting.
I love it.
Yeah. Those old New York ladies, the old ones who were like on meds and their dogs were with them and the dogs were on meds too.
I think they're still there, to be honest. They're still hanging out, having tea.
They were dressed one really great, beautiful older women, big jewelry.
Last but not least, when you were here last, if you can recall, do you have a weirdest New York sighting?
A weird New York sighting?
Yeah.
Weird New York sighting.
And this could be just about anything, really, because I told the story about people yelling at each other.
Okay. Well, speaking of people yelling at each other, as a matter of fact, me and my guy were there, and it was late. It was pretty late, and we were leaving some friends that we had met. And as we were walking down the street to our car, there was a woman that was had clearly had a lot to drink and couldn't remember where the car was. Well, I didn't know if she couldn't remember where the car was, but her guy was with her, and she's insisting that they go to the right where this car is, and he starts small. He's like, "It's not your car. It's not your car." And then he's yelling at the top of his lungs, "It's not your car!" And she's trying really hard to get into the car. She's like practically breaking into this car. We didn't help or anything, but that was fun. It was like he didn't give a shit. There was like buildings full of people asleep. He was yelling at the top of his lungs. So that's stuff. So I say that sometimes when I'm looking, for my car. I'm like, it's not your car.
It's not your car. That's funny. That's a great New York moment.
It's like it felt like it happened often to that couple.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, New York misses you, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you when you're here next. But tell us before you go, if you can share a little bit about what you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm in Toronto doing this show called Mayor of Kingstown for Apple TV, and it's cool. I like it a lot, and we are here doing this until kind of not too much longer. I've been here all summer doing it, and it's a show about people who are all kind of living in their shadow selves a lot of the time. And so it's people are kind of living on the boundary of right and wrong without judging it, understanding that they have to, be diplomatic about the wrong. So it's a interesting show, and the characters are all really interesting and kind of, wild, just wild.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That sounds amazing.
yeah,
When does
when
does it air?
November. We finished
wow.
it. We finished it at the end of September, October actually, because we had to shut down for about a week, and so I think we're going to finish shooting it now in October, and and then it's just like done, and they're going to air it in November. That's nuts, right?
That's amazing. That's wonderful. And what's your character? Can you tell us just a teaser?
Yeah. I play a character called Evelyn, and Evelyn is this woman who is involved in a morally questionable relationship with a man in town who has a morally questionable life. She's the DA in this crime story. It's a true crime story.
Oh.
We follow a crime the entire season. And
wow.
she's the DA. We don't really, obviously we don't exist in the court, but as the DA, she's involved with the guys who are kind of looking to solve it in their morally questionable way. And so the character, has to reconcile that. But also the character's, very modern, kind of lady too. So I think I'm into it. I think it's cool. I like it.
I love that. I think that you're going to probably be incredible in it. You're getting lots of NCIS New Orleans love, and from all of your friends and fans here.
Well, I love New Orleans. It's always going to have a special place in my heart. That's another morally questionable city with a lot of heart.
Yes. yes. You spent some time there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. There's that trifecta right between New York and New Orleans and San Francisco that lives in literary lore.
Yeah.
I really felt the New York-New Orleans connection when I was in New Orleans. There's a lot of New Yorkers in New Orleans. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So many, especially I think when, that last year, because people were kind of running a little bit from the cities, and a lot of New Yorkers headed down to New Orleans. I mean, it's just such an East Coast city. Coming from California, it doesn't feel as, relatable to California. And it might sound strange to connect New Orleans and New York because, it's North and South in a real serious way, right? That may seem fine. But, but it's very East Coast in, terms of bricks and fireplaces and all kinds of stuff.
Amazing. Well, Necar, you're amazing and wonderful.
You're wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I've been really looking forward to seeing you.
Yay!
Seeing you on FaceTime. I'm glad you asked me to come and do it.
Yeah, me too. You're the best. I know, a big part of this is that you may not live here all the time, but you work here a lot. Your heart is with New York, just like all of our hearts are with New York. So, thank you.
And so many of my great friends like you live in New York all the time. So I feel like it's, maybe everybody feels like this, but I feel like there's so much, to see and people to welcome me when I go. Yeah,
it's another home, and maybe in the near future you will have a home here. You never know what the future holds.
Yeah. Keep sending me places.
I will. 100%. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time shooting in Toronto.
Thank you.
All love to you, and thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Dode. And
yeah,
your place looks beautiful behind you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you in September.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Necar. Bye. You guys, thank you so much. Join us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to continue to talk with New Yorkers about their New York, where we're hosting this a New York conversation. In the meantime, if you don't live in New York, come and visit us. come and support us. Come and support small businesses. If you do live in New York, hey, go visit your small businesses. Give some support and love to your local, your local markets, your local delis, because that's what we do, right? That's what New Yorkers do. We support each other. Thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, bye.